you again later. Okay, so for those who are new, so just a quick introduction to Muet so that you know what you're getting yourself into, right? So Muet it stands for Malaysian University English Test. Okay, it's a compulsory test for a lot of people bila dia nak join university, nak join college, nak travel overseas, ataupun in some cases when you are working, okay, you are required to take Muet. But most people are taking it to further their studies in universities. Okay, so for Muet, you have okay, untuk Muet you ada 4 paper. We have 4 papers, okay, that comprises of listening, okay, paper 1 speaking, paper 2 reading and writing, paper 3 and 4. Benda yang paling penting you need to pay attention to are the percentages, okay, the percentages. This is the old format, okay, so the old format ni akan digunakan until 2020 sahaja. If you are taking the test next year in 2021, then you will be using the new format. The new format is very different. The new format is all 25. Lain all 25. So if you're using if you're taking it this year in September, for example, then you are using the old format. The most important paper is reading and writing. 70% of your marks will come from reading and writing. Listening and speaking lebih kecil, right? 15 and 15 only. So therefore, the duration of the test also different according to the time. Sorry, according to the percentage. So listening 30 minutes only, speaking 30 minutes, reading 90 minutes, and writing 90 minutes. So for marks, okay, marks, listening you are looking at 45 marks. So total is 300, yeah, 300. You will get marks based on the total of 300. So depending on what you get for each component, they tambah. This total score will be your Muet score. Okay, so dia bukan, there's no such thing as, oh, I fail listening or I fail speaking. Dia tak, dia macam your total mark is your Muet score. So in some cases, ada student dia sangat power reading, tapi dia punya speaking almost 0 ke, or maybe just 10 ke, for example. But they focus on reading, they get very high score reading, writing, can still get band 4, can still get band 3. Okay, so in the past or in 2020 dan sebelumnya, this is possible. Tapi 2021 onwards, this is not possible because like I said before, semua komponen 25%. So you kena basically pass all components in order to get the average score. You tak boleh focus on reading saja or writing saja and then push those scores, okay? Right. For bands, most people, for Malaysian students, are looking for band 4 and band 3, okay? Band 4 for English related subjects or medical health sciences atau postgrad, masters and so on like that. Band 3 for most degrees, okay? The good thing about Muet is that dia guna band, so the score doesn't matter. The score doesn't matter. Kalau you dapat macam for example, some tests they not use specific 144 for example. So kalau you dapat 143, you band 3 tapi you tak dapat masuk university. So for Muet, the range is very big. You can see there's a 39 plus range here, and there's about another 39 plus range here. So it's very, very big. Yeah? Right, so today we will focus on listening. Right, listening are the 3 parts, right? 30 minutes, 3 parts. Okay, it's 15%, like I said. They are basically about 5 different listening, but it can change from time to time. Basic criteria for text selection, length, level of complexity, and the text type. So when they are choosing the script, okay, for the listening, as you go to the third part 3 tu, the complexity makin naik, okay, the listening becomes more difficult. And then you have genres, types of listening scripts. You have lecture, Okay, sebab Muet is mainly for university students, so dia punya listening pun selalunya berunsurkan academic. So lecture, briefing, talk, discussion, interview, telephone conversation, announcement, instruction, advertisement, news meeting, documentary. Okay, so all these different types. You have 20 questions to answer. Okay, all right, and the type of questions go from information transfer. This basically fill in the blanks lah. Information transfer, fill in blanks. Okay, so you have something blank, something. Okay, what should you put here? Okay, then you have short answer question. Basically, you have question. Okay, and then you kena jawab. Okay, and then 3 option multiple choice MCQ A, B, C. Okay, A, B, C. So this one I think everybody's familiar. This one I think everybody's familiar. This one I think everybody's familiar. So the type of question dia tak pelik or tak different. The only thing you need to remember for Muet is that for the information transfer and short answer question, dia akan tetapkan bilangan perkataan. They will tell you how many words you can write. Normally for information transfer, you can write 3 words only. Tak boleh lebih. Okay, short answer question, I think if I'm not mistaken, 5 words only. Okay, so you must follow that. You must read the question very carefully and find out berapa perkataan, how many words they want you to write. Don't write more than that. You can write less than that, but you cannot write more than that. Okay, so how about the strategy? What do we do? Noyak set. Got clean. Okay, semua okay so far, yeah? Everybody okay? Yeah, you can unmute yourself, or you can type in the chat. Dia ada chat bar apa tu? Ada chat box if you want to chat. Just put a okay, so you can use the chat box to ask any questions and I can answer. Or if you, for example, if I ask you something and you want to reply, you can just unmute your microphone and then you can say something. Everybody can hear so far, yeah? I hope that's okay. Just checking. Yeah, my microphone is on. Okay. So everybody very quiet, so I don't know if you can hear me or not. Okay. Thank you, Abdullah. Abdullah was always here to help me check if everybody can hear. Okay. Now today is very important that you can hear because today is listening, so we have to make sure that you can hear the audio. Yeah. Let's see how to click on the audio. Okay. Right. So strategy. Now for listening strategy, okay, the best advice I can give you is that to immerse yourself in the English language. Maknanya you kena listen to as much English as you can, okay, leading up to the test. Okay, maknanya every day you must spend a few hours in the car on the way to work or in the car on the way to class at night, just listening to as much English as you can. Just dengar as much English as you can. Make sure your ear is what we call tuned. Okay, you are tuned. The word is attune. Attune. Okay, you want your ear to be attuned. Maknanya you biasa mendengar. Therefore, once you dah biasa mendengar, you will be able to hear words quicker and clearer. Okay, so the biggest problem with students when they are listening to the test, to the audio, mereka akan tak dapat tangkap the meaning of the words or the actual words because everything is too fast for them. Okay, but if you get used to listening to the English language as much as possible, then you become attuned. So what I suggest is English radio is probably the best. Okay, English radios, because you have, and especially talk radio. Talk radio maksudnya radio yang banyak cakap, yang kurang apa tu? Kurang lagu but banyak cakap. So my favorite one would be 89.9 BFM. Okay, so it's fully in English, and then there are a lot of the DJs, they like to discuss about current issues, they discuss about topics about health, education, macam-macam lah. And then it's good to listen to that and get used to the to the language. Okay, all right. So that's the first thing I would suggest you do from now on every day. Okay. Then when it comes to the test itself, what can you do to make the test more bearable? The first thing is to underline keywords in the question. So bila you dapat paper, when you get the paper, you are given some time, about 1 minute. Okay, Anda diberi 1 minute untuk baca soalan. Okay, only 1 minute to read the question, everything from top to bottom. So what you do is you underline keywords, underline important words. Sebab what you're going to do is you're going to listen for the words, the keywords. Okay, the keywords might not come exactly as in the question. Kalau the question tu kata chicken, dalam listening, it might not say chicken, but it might say like I don't know, this fowl. Okay, this fowl, like, which is another word for a bird or something like that. Okay, so it might be mentioned in the listening track, not exactly the same, tapi at least you are listening for it. You're preparing for what you think you can listen. So this strategy is called pre-listening. Okay, so what you're doing is you're guessing the topic and what is going to be said. Okay, what are the speakers going to say in the listening, so that when you listen, you can understand it faster. Okay, using the question to guess what is going to be discussed in the audio. Take notes on the side. So when you are listening, you try to answer the question using a different piece of paper. Okay, don't write on the main question paper yet. You might have to change, but just write what you think the answer is on a different piece of paper. Next is to be confident when you are answering. Okay, so what's most important is that you get 2 times to listen. So this sometimes can throw off students. Student ingat, oh tak apa, boleh listen lagi second time kan. So what they do is they don't answer the first time. They don't answer the first time. When they don't answer the first time, they listen again the second time, and then they find out, alamak, I missed the answer. I was looking for it, but somehow I missed it. Okay, so don't do that. What you want to do is the first round, answer as much as you can. Answer as much as you can. Jangan apa tu? Okay, somebody's trying to go in. Let's check. Okay. So the first round, try to answer as much as you can. Do not wait for the second one. Answer first, check later. So the second listening is mainly for checking. Okay, it's not for answering anymore. Okay, so the more you answer the first round, the better. So these are some, basic test strategies. But I would say, to be honest with you, the best way to approach the listening test is to just be good at listening, meaning that you can really get used to listening to the English language. Practice listening to English talk radio as much as possible. And then, I will give you some exercises afterwards for you to do, okay, and so that you can practice as well. So let me just see any messages. Okay. Unknown user cannot go in. Okay. Everybody all right? Everybody can hear? Everything clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Ainon. All right, good. Let's move on. So let's try now. Okay, so I hope you have a piece of paper or a notebook or a pen we're going to do some listening practice, okay? So like I said, in Muet listening, we have 3 parts. So we go part 1, part 2, part 3. And then after that, hopefully we have some time, we can maybe go again, another part 1, another part 2, another part 3, okay? Right. So part 1, let's look at the style of the question first, and then we use the strategies to approach this question, okay? So for questions 1, 2, 3, write your answers in no more than 3 words. This is what I was just saying just now. Tak boleh guna lebih daripada 3 words, okay? Doesn't mean that you have to answer 3 perkataan, okay? But the best thing to do, the safest thing to do is, if possible, just bagi 3 perkataan as the answer, okay? You know, because sometimes the 3 words might be 1 word answer, tapi because the 1 word answer you letak dalam 3 words tu, you still get correct juga. So it's more is you know, not a problem as long as you tak lebih daripada 3 perkataan. Okay. Right. So what we do then is we underline keywords and try to guess what the listening is all about. So you have 3 questions here. First of all, you have dust mites are tiny creatures that can trigger something. Okay. So the first thing that you might be thinking is, apa ni dust mites ni? Okay, again, you never heard of them before. That's okay. That's okay. All right. So you know that. Okay, the main topic, you can see question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, semua ada dust mite, dust mite, dust mite. So you know, number 1, the listening is about dust mites. Okay, you tahu already. Okay, dust mites, but you don't know apa ni dust mite. Maybe you know, but some of you might not know. That's fine. And then you have other words in the question that can help you guess what the listening is about. It says here, dust mites are tiny creatures. Okay, so now you start thinking it's a tiny creature. Okay, animal or makhluk yang kecil. Okay, that can trigger. So trigger is a keyword. They can trigger apa? Trigger what? Trigger what? Okay, right. Dust mites can survive almost everywhere, especially in, okay, this is the keyword, countries. What kind of countries? Dust mite can survive in what kind of country? So the keyword you want to listen to is the word country. So bila you dengar perkataan country, okay, what kind of country again? Maybe it's a hot country, maybe it's a cold country, maybe it's a wet country, maybe it's a dry country, okay, right? So because we are talking about survival, kan? Survival. So animals survive in what kind of country? Takkan you kata, oh, country yang modern, or country yang, you know, with good culture. So, you know, they are tiny creatures. What do they have to do with culture and all that? So it must be something to do with weather, temperature, betul tak? Okay, let's try to get this unknown user in. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's how we know that this particular, what you call that, topic, okay, or this dust mite, okay, it has something to do with how they survive in different types of countries. And then question number 3, dust mites feed mainly on, so we are talking about food. What do they eat? We know they are tiny creature and they eat something from humans and pets. Okay, so they eat something that comes from humans and pets. Okay, so can you guess what dust mites are? Boleh teka tak? Anybody? Siapa-siapa? Anybody want to try? What do you think dust mites? Dust maksudnya apa?
Habuk.
Habuk, okay. So something yang ada kena mengena dengan habuk, creature yang ada kena mengena habuk. Any idea? Huh? So siapa? Any idea? Want to try? Kutu? Okay, yeah, that's a good answer. Kutu kan sebab dia kecil dan you know, or something like that.
Think
Okay,
of
good.
human and pet.
Human and pet. Dia makan human and pet. Tapi dia kecil, so it cannot be something yang makan human and pet kan. Dia makan something yang, maybe something yang kita produce kan. Something that humans and pets produce. So now you start to think, what do we produce that other things can eat? Okay, maybe leftover food. Maybe apa lagi? Apa lagi? What do you think? Maybe our waste. Maybe apa? Maybe our skin drops, etc. Okay, so many things. People are getting disconnected a lot. Let me just change the mission management kejap, so that you don't have to wait. You can just come in straight. Let's let come, yes, okay. Okay, so after this, if you get disconnected, you can just join straight away. No worries there. Okay, where are we? So now let's listen. Okay, let's listen to this audio. And we will, okay, so what you have to do is you have to write down your notes, okay, what you think the answers are for these 3 questions. So dust mites are tiny creatures that can trigger. So trigger is a keyword, trigger apa dia, trigger apa. And then dust mites can survive almost everywhere, especially in countries, apa jenis country. And then the last one is the food. What kind of things do they eat? Okay, right, so let's listen and try to answer.
Part 1. Listen to a talk about dust mites. Based on the talk, answer questions 1 to 8.
Are you suffering from some form of allergy or asthma? Then there is a big possibility that a tiny creature is lurking in your home, causing you misery. This tiny creature is called dust mites. Dust mites may be the most common trigger of allergies and asthma. Dust mites are survivors. They survive in every continent except the Antarctica. In warm and humid countries like Singapore and Malaysia, they can be found by the billions. Why do you think this is so? It's because they thrive best at 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. They reproduce by laying eggs, and each female will lay between 50 to 80 eggs every month. They are very tiny creatures, about 1/4 of a millimeter in size, so you cannot see them with your naked eye. Under a microscope, they look like white bugs. But wait, these white bugs have 8 legs. So they are not insects, but they are arthropods like spiders. Where can we find dust mites? They can be found in carpets, beddings, pillows, sofas, curtains, and even stuffed toys. They feed mainly on the dead skin dropped off from humans and pets. On average, an adult person may produce up to 1.5 gram of dead skin per day. That is enough to feed 1 million dust mites. And these dust mites, they don't actually bite. It is their body parts and droppings that cause the irritation on your skin and nasal passages. Each mite can produce about 20 droppings a day, and each dropping is 10 times smaller than a strand of human hair. Although tiny, in large numbers, the droppings can cause a lot of allergic reactions and itching. The National University Hospital of Singapore reported that 9 out of 10 people are allergic to dust mite droppings. Common allergy symptoms include sneezing, runny nose, watery eyes, coughing, and itchy nose, mouth, and throat. Even worse, dust mite allergies can cause asthmatic attacks. Asthmatic attacks include difficulty in breathing, chest pain, wheezing cough, and having trouble sleeping. Certain medicines.
Okay, we won't have to listen to the whole thing because we have the answers to all three already. Okay, all right. So now you can just quickly write, maybe take about 10-15 seconds to write your answers. Okay, so let's check the answers now. Okay, we'll start with question number 1. So please help me answer. Dust mites are tiny creatures that can trigger what? Anybody would like to try?
Allergy.
Allergies, good. Yeah, so the word is allergies. Okay, allergies. So this is a noun. Okay, there are also mention of asthma. Okay, so allergies and asthma are both 3 words lah. 1, 2, 3. So you're not going over. But if you answer allergies only, I think it should be fine as well. Question number 2. Dust mites can survive almost everywhere, especially in what kind of countries? Any idea, gang?
Dry
Hot
country.
Dry country.
countries.
Hot is correct.
Warm country.
Yes, the actual word was warm, but there was also another one. Not dry. What's the opposite of dry? Start with H.
Hot.
Humid.
Wet.
Humid. Humid. Apa? Is opposite of dry countries. Like dry countries is like Middle East, Saudi Arabia, yeah, very dry. So Malaysia and Singapore are very warm and humid. Warm and humid countries. Very, very warm, tapi very wet, very wet feeling. Okay. Question number 3. Dust mites feed mainly on what type of food?
Dead skin.
Dead skin. Yes. Yummy, yummy dead skin. Okay, good. So those are the things. So as you can see, if you prepare before you listen, you put your ear and your mind into a situation or in a position to hear the correct answer. Okay, so it's better to always underline, circle all the questions before you listen. Okay, that can help. Now,
Part 1. Listen
okay, kejap. Be quiet.
to a talk.
Okay, so this is question 2. Sorry, a bit blur because this is from the exam paper, and I too lazy to draw back this this table, so I just copy and paste. Right, so it says here for questions 4 to 6, write your answer in not more than 5 words. Okay, common allergy symptoms caused by dust mites. So just be aware that just now question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and also
Part 1.
question 7 and 8, all in the first listening. Okay, all in the first listening. So when you are given the chance to look at the question, you are not just looking at part 1, you're looking at everything. Circle, circle, underline everything in 1 minute before you start listening. Okay, so the second part here, okay, we use the same strategy again. We annotate keywords, we try to predict, we try to guess what the answer can be. So here, common allergy symptom. This is a very important word for Muet because Muet likes healthcare. I don't know why. They like health topics a lot. Okay, I think maybe because health topics is very safe. You know what I mean? So when they are writing the test paper, imagine they have to write a lot of test papers every year and all that. They have so many topics to choose from. Banyak topik dia orang boleh tulis. Tapi certain topics can be very sensitive. Can be sensitive. So, and also they are trying to get more international student untuk buat test ni. So kalau international student, you tak boleh buat, let's say, listening about something traditional or cultural or something very Malaysian, you know. So the international student tak faham kan. Therefore, they like to use health topics like, you know, exercising, health and things like that, because health is very safe. You know, when you talk about health, everybody can understand. It doesn't make anybody angry. It doesn't make anybody, well, today maybe, but it doesn't make anybody feel sensitive. Okay, so you need to know a lot of health related topics, and one of it is symptom. Okay, symptom, right? You heard this before? Pernah dengar?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. What does it mean, man? Apa maksudnya?
Symptom
Huh?
like flu, fever.
Flu, okay. So symptom is like when you are sick with something, the
Early warning.
doctor, again,
Early warnings.
early warnings, yes, good. It's like the things that you can observe about yourself that tells you that you have this sickness. Kalau macam, for example, you have high temperature, you have runny nose, you know, maybe itchy throat, that means you have the flu. Okay, so you are looking at all these different signs, all these different, you know, early warnings. Okay, like Abdullah said, you know, of allergy, common allergy symptoms caused by dust mite. So list what you're listening for. They give you an example, so it's good. Sneezing, itchy nose, mouth, and throat. So you're listening for any words, any description of being sick about something or being sick with something. Okay, so even before the start already, right, if you are very familiar with the idea of allergy, kan, if you're familiar with allergy, apakah symptom-symptom for allergy that you know?
Itchy.
Itchy, okay. Lagi?
Watering eyes.
Watering eyes, yes. Okay, what else? Runny nose, okay, cough. So these are not the answers, but these are like your own knowledge, you know, your own knowledge about allergy, kan? Maybe rash, kan? Rash on your skin, you have rashes. What else can we have? We can have oops, sorry, where's my pen? We can have
Eye bubble.
eye bubble, yes, swelling, yes, swelling. No eye bubble, swelling,
bubble.
yes, swelling, okay, swelling like that, yes. So these are all examples of symptoms. So you just start thinking of the answer. So later on, when the word pops up, you can put the answers in faster. There might be more than three. There might be more than three. Okay, but you only have to listen to three. Okay, right. So let's listen. This one pretty straightforward. So let's just listen. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Part 1. Listen to a talk about dust mites. Based on the talk, answer questions 1 to 8.
Are you suffering from some form of allergy or asthma? Then there is a big possibility that a tiny creature is lurking in your home, causing you misery. This tiny creature is called dust mites. Dust mites may be the most common trigger of allergies and asthma. Dust mites are survivors. They survive in every continent except the Antarctica. In warm and humid countries like Singapore and Malaysia, they can be found by the billions. Why do you think this is so? It's because they thrive best at 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. They reproduce by laying eggs, and each female will lay between 50 to 80 eggs every month. They are very tiny creatures, about 1/4 of a millimeter in size, so you cannot see them with your naked eye. Under a microscope, they look like white bugs. But wait, these white bugs have 8 legs. So they are not insects, but They are arthropods like spiders. Where can we find dust mites? They can be found in carpets, beddings, pillows, sofas, curtains, and even stuffed toys. They feed mainly on the dead skin dropped off from humans and pets. On average, an adult person may produce up to 1.5 gram of dead skin per day. That is enough to feed 1 million dust mites. And these dust mites, they don't actually bite. It is their body parts and droppings that cause the irritation on your skin and nasal passages. Each mite can produce about 20 droppings a day, and each dropping is 10 times smaller than a strand of human hair. Although tiny, in large numbers, the droppings can cause a lot of allergic reactions and itching.
Okay, listen.
The National University Hospital of Singapore reported that 9 out of 10 people are allergic to dust mite droppings. Common allergy symptoms include sneezing, runny nose, watery eyes, coughing, and itchy nose, mouth, and throat. Even worse, dust mite allergies can cause asthmatic attacks. Asthmatic attacks include difficulty in breathing, chest pain, wheezing.
Part 1.
Okay, so we can stop there because we have the answers. Right. Okay, so let's go. Give me the answers. Sneezing, got already.
Cough.
Running nose.
Coughing,
Watery eyes.
runny nose, and
Watery eyes.
guys. Okay, good. So we have all three answers. Okay. Right. So remember, not more than 5 words. So we can't write more than 5 words, which is fine. Okay. Everybody okay with that part? Yeah. You understand how to approach it? Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Right. So for question 7 and 8, circle the correct answer. So this is your straightforward multiple choice type question. Okay. Multiple choice type question. A, B, C. Right. So again, same thing. We underline keywords, okay, and then we try to guess the answer. The following are the effects of medicines to treat allergies except. So we are looking at the effects of medicine to treat allergies. So it's side effect. You know, sometimes when you eat medicine, you will get some kind of side effects. So what are these side effects? So you've got chest pain or having trouble sleeping or increased blood pressure. Okay, you got to listen to which one is the following are the effects of it except. So the answer that we want is except, the one that is not mentioned or the one that is wrong. Dust mites can be prevented by using dust-proof covers, using wall-to-wall carpeting, or washing blankets in cold water. So first of all, we use a dust-proof covers is, you know, like your cadar, right, on your tilam that has a dust-proof. Okay, when your dead skin tu tak boleh fall directly to your tilam, so it's stopped by your cadar, your covers. And the next one is wall-to-wall carpeting. Maknanya your entire room has carpet on the wall, carpet on the floor. Okay, I think in Malaysia we don't have this because we don't have carpet on the wall, but in some countries they do. They have carpeted wall. So, and lastly, washing blankets in cold water. Okay, maybe. So what you can do from this question, I think, is you can eliminate some answers that might not be possible. Okay, we know that dust mites live in the carpet, right? So if you have wall-to-wall carpeting, does that increase dust mite or reduce dust mite?
Increase.
Increase, right? So I think this one might be a bit questionable. So then it makes it easier. Sometimes you will see an answer that, hey, that doesn't make sense at all. So, you know, you can already remove it. Okay, so you might be using dust-proof covers or washing blankets in cold water. We need to know which one. So let's
1. Listen to a talk about dust mites.
This one we have to listen
Based
all the
on the
way to
talk,
the end.
answer questions 1 to 8.
Are you suffering from some form of allergy or asthma? Then there is a big possibility that a tiny creature is lurking in your home, causing you misery. This tiny creature is called dust mites. Dust mites may be the most common trigger of allergies and asthma. Dust mites are survivors. They survive in every continent except the Antarctica. In warm and humid countries like Singapore and Malaysia, they can be found by the billions. Why do you think this is so? It's because they thrive best at 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. They reproduce by laying eggs, and each female will lay between 50 to 80 eggs every month. They are very tiny creatures, about 1/4 of a millimeter in size, so you cannot see them with your naked eye. Under a microscope, they look like white bugs. But wait, these white bugs have 8 legs. So they are not insects, but they are arthropods like spiders. Where can we find dust mites? They can be found in carpets, beddings, pillows, sofas, curtains, and even stuffed toys. They feed mainly on the dead skin dropped off from humans and pets. On average, an adult person may produce up to 1.5 grams of dead skin per day. That is enough to feed 1 million dust mites. And these dust mites, they don't actually bite. It is their body parts and droppings that cause the irritation on your skin and nasal passages. Each mite can produce about 20 droppings a day, and each dropping is 10 times smaller than a strand of human hair. Although tiny, in large numbers, the droppings can cause a lot of allergic reactions and itching. The National University Hospital of Singapore reported that 9 out of 10 people are allergic to dust mite droppings. Common allergy symptoms include sneezing, runny nose, watery eyes, coughing, and itchy nose, mouth, and throat. Even worse, dust mite allergies can cause asthmatic attacks. Asthmatic attacks include difficulty in breathing, chest pain, wheezing cough, and having trouble sleeping. Certain medicines may help reduce allergy symptoms caused by dust mites. These medicines come in the form of pills, liquid, nose sprays, or nose drops. Some may be purchased at pharmacies without any prescription. But you must always check with your doctors first before using these medicines because some can cause side effects like sleeplessness and increased blood pressure. Dust mites can be avoided by limiting your exposure to them. It is nearly impossible to completely get rid of them in your environment, but you can use dust-proof covers for your mattresses and pillows. You should wash bed sheets, blankets, and rugs weekly in hot water. You can also use special vacuum cleaners to get rid of mites and mite droppings. Finally, you should avoid having wall-to-wall carpeting.
You are now given 1 minute to answer questions 1 to 8.
Okay,
Okay.
right. I think it's quite easy. We have the answer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one, accept
A.
A, chest pain. Okay, chest pain is not there. She said sleeplessness. This is what I mean when you
Synonym.
sleepless. Yes, ness. Is that right? Sleeplessness. Wait, wait. It looks sheepish. It looks like sheepishness. Let me delete that. And say sleeplessness. Okay, so sleeplessness instead of having trouble sleeping. So because of that, but you have to listen to that. Oh, sleeplessness. Therefore, not sleeping. Okay, all right. So this is correct. Increased blood pressure was also mentioned. This is correct. So the wrong one is chest pain. Dust mites can be prevented by A, B, C. Which one?
A.
A, good. Using dust-proof covers, okay? So this one is wrong, as we predicted. And she said washing blankets in
Hot water.
hot water.
Hot water.
Hot water. Although I don't know if Malaysians will do that. Okay.
Laundry. You see.
Huh?
Laundry. You see.
We will do it. You do it.
So,
Oh, laundry, meaning that you go to the laundromat, right? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. If you go to the laundromat, you can use hot water. But at home, we don't have hot water washing machine, right? Yeah, I guess so. Okay, so that's the first part of the listing. Okay, so let's move on.
Part 1.
Let's go on to part 2. Okay, so part 2, the questions are pretty much, well, the questions are all pretty much the same, 1, 2, 3, but it just like it gets more and more difficult, and the different types of listening. Like if part 1 you heard a lecture, or somebody talking about a topic, part 2 you will have a conversation. Okay, a different style of listening. Okay, so when you have a conversation, there are some strategies that we can add here. First of all, identify the two speakers or the three speakers. Usually there are two speakers. So speaker A and speaker B. Okay, so you need to know who is speaking to whom. Okay, who is speaker A, who is speaker B. Usually there will be one person in that conversation who is the focus of the conversation. Okay, how do we know? If you look at the question, okay, the question, you can see Ronnie, 2 times Ronnie already. So you know that the focus of the conversation will be Ronnie. It's all about Ronnie, what Ronnie thinks, what Ronnie wants. Okay, so therefore you will pay more attention to Ronnie than the other person. Okay, all right. So what do we have? Question 9 and 10, choose one letter A to F from the box below to complete each sentence. So you have a list of things, and then you have to complete one of these into here, one of these into here. So this is like, just think of it as like a MCQ, but with 6 options. Okay, MCQ, but ada 6 pilihan. That's all you have to think about it. It's not very complicated. So the question is more important than the answer. Okay, a lot of students, what they do is they look at affordability apa ni, portability apa ni, reputation apa. It's like, a lot of these are like, might be new words to you, but what you need to do is ignore them first. Jangan tengok, it doesn't matter. They're just A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, so first you look at question number 9. Ronnie's first consideration when choosing a computer is its what? So we know that the topic is going to be about choosing a computer. So Ronnie is buying a computer or choosing a computer, and the first consideration, maknanya his most important aspect of choosing the computer. What is the most important thing for him when choosing the computer? Okay, so all we have to do is just listen for a word that sounds like any of these. So maybe he said, oh, I'm looking for something. The most important thing to me is this one. Then you know, okay. Dia tak kisah, you tak understand this word pun tak apa, because you know when Ronnie say the most important thing, or I cannot look beyond, or something like that, that shows that this is the most important thing, then you just listen to something that sounds similar to A to F, right? Okay. 10, according to Ronnie, well-known brands, so the keyword is well-known brands, are better in terms of their what? So when you buy branded computer, that means they are better in terms of what? So again, the answer here, A to F, not important. So you don't waste time trying to guess what they mean. It's more important to look at the question. You look at the question, and then you know where to listen in the conversation. Okay, so now let's have a go. Let's listen.
Part 2. Listen to a conversation between 2 friends, Ronnie and Maya. Based on the conversation, answer questions 9 to 14.
Hey Ronnie, I heard we will be getting our student loan next week. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. The first thing I'm going to do is to buy a computer.
Oh, your previous computer crashed just recently, right? So have you decided which computer you're going to buy?
Not yet. It's so confusing. There's just so many choices out there, and I do have to keep an eye out for the best price. That's the most important.
I think you better get yourself sorted out. There's no point waiting until you walk into a shop. It sounds like you need to do some research of your own. Okay, let me help. Have you decided on how much you are going to spend?
Well, I'm not going to finish off all the money, if that's what you mean. I can't afford more than 3,000 ringgit. That still leaves me plenty to choose from.
Okay, next question is, are you brand conscious?
Not really, as long as it's a brand I recognize. Well known brands have a reputation to maintain, so they generally give good after sales service. It's been so hectic lately since I don't have my own computer. It's so difficult trying to use the computers in the library, and I can't afford to spend much time at the cyber cafe. I already have three assignments I need to do some research for.
Okay, we'll stop there because we have the answers already. Yeah,
Yeah.
correct? Okay, good. So Ronnie didn't actually say the word that what we are looking for here, but it's okay. We work backwards. So Ronnie's first consideration when choosing, what is the most important thing he said? He said,
Price.
Price.
right?
Affordability.
Yeah, it's good. So okay, I know the answer is affordability, but let's just assume that we don't know the meaning of these words. It might be a different question, and we don't know the vocabulary, okay? So it's its price. So price. So you know it has something to do with money. So what you do is you just start to eliminate things that has nothing to do with price. Okay, so all these things have nothing to do with price, therefore the correct answer must be affordability. Okay, the word is affordable. Right, so not necessarily, you don't necessarily need to know the meaning of this word in order to answer this question. Number 10, according to Ronnie, well-known brands are better in terms of their
Reputation.
hmm,
Reputation.
Reputation.
no, it's after
For the
sales
survey.
service. Okay,
Oh,
that's okay. You might have because he did say reputation. He did say reputation. You are right, but he said well-known brands have their reputation to take care of. Okay, he said that well-known brands have to take care of their reputation, so they have good after-sales service. Okay, so they are better in terms of their after-sales service. Maybe I can reverse a bit and just
Let me help. Have you decided on how much you are going to spend?
Well, I'm not going to finish off all the money, if that's what you mean. I can't afford more than 3,000 ringgit. That still leaves me plenty to choose from.
Okay, next question is, are you brand conscious?
Not really, as long as it's a brand I recognize. Well known brands have a reputation to maintain, so they generally give good after sales service.
okay, they give good after sales service. So that's why I say looking at the question is more important. Well-known brands are better in terms of their after sales service. Okay, so it's fine if you got one or two, it's not too bad. Okay, considering the first part we got quite a few right.
Part 2.
Okay, so again we continue with the next questions. 11, 12, 13, 14. So you have your standard MCQ type question. Right, so let's apply the same strategy again. So we got Ronnie as our main character. So we know already that he's buying a computer. Ronnie is buying a computer mainly because what is the main purpose? So save time, save money, or watch videos. Okay, so it's time, money, or watch videos. Okay, so we can probably guess that the best kind of answers should come from here, right?
yeah.
This is very academic text, so most of them will be buying computers not to watch videos lah, more like to studying. So must be save time or save money. Okay, Ronnie is considering buying a notebook because it is cheaper, more reliable, or more convenient. Okay, so are we okay with these words? Yeah, so cheaper is money, reliable is tahan, it lasts longer, and then convenient is easy to use. Easy to use. Do you guys know the difference between notebook and laptop?
Yeah.
Yeah, laptop is usually bigger, right? Notebook is smaller lah, basically. Ronnie majors in, so this is Ronnie's program, okay, his major. So it's either graphic design, business management, or software programming. So we just have to listen to what he's studying. Okay, which of the following best describes Ronnie's plan to buy a computer? Okay, this is probably the tougher question out of all of these. So the question says he has made up his mind. So this is a summary question. This question asks you, so after listening to the entire conversation, what is your opinion about Ronnie's plan to buy a computer? So the question paper gives you three options. A, he has made up his mind. Maknanya he has already decided what he's going to do. Okay. Number two, he has given it some thought. He has thought about it. You know, he discussed about it. He thought about it. He has already, you know, calculated in his mind. C, he has hardly thought about it. Okay, this is something that a lot of Malaysian students confuse. When they say hard and thought, they think that it's the same as think hard, you know? Think hard, maknanya really think about it. But actually, the word hardly, when you put it in front of the word, it becomes the opposite. Okay? It actually means he has hardly thought about it, means he has not really thought about it. Hardly. It's a funny word, hardly. You think that, you know, hard, maknanya you really do it, right? But actually, he has the opposite meaning. You mean you didn't actually do it. So if you say I hardly studied, it means you didn't study. Okay, all right. I hardly slept means you didn't sleep. Okay, all right. So you've looked at the questions. Now let's listen and answer. This
Part 2.
yeah. Okay, so we listen until the end.
Part 2. Listen to a conversation between two friends, Ronnie and Maya. Based on the conversation, answer questions 9 to 14.
Hey, Ronnie, I heard we will be getting our student loan next week. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. The first thing I'm going to do is to buy a computer.
Oh, your previous computer crashed just recently, right? So have you decided which computer you're going to buy?
Not yet, it's so confusing. There's just so many choices out there, and I do have to keep an eye out for the best price. That's the most important.
I think you better get yourself sorted out. There's no point waiting until you walk into a shop. It sounds like you need to do some research of your own. Okay, let me help. Have you decided on how much you are going to spend?
Well, I'm not going to finish off all the money, if that's what you mean. I can't afford more than 3,000 ringgit. That still leaves me plenty to choose from.
Okay, next question is, are you brand conscious?
Not really, as long as it's a brand I recognize. Well known brands have a reputation to maintain, so they generally give good after sales service. It's been so hectic lately since I don't have my own computer. It's so difficult trying to use the computers in the library, and I can't afford to spend much time at the cyber cafe. I already have three assignments I need to do some research for.
Why don't you keep your options open? Hmm, with your budget, you could even buy a desktop. That is, if you're interested.
Desktop? Oh no, that would chain me to my hostel room. I need a powerful notebook so I can get around. And it's great that the whole campus has Wi Fi, so I can be online anywhere.
So, are you going to use it for research only?
Well, for internet research and completing assignments, of course. But you know me, it's not all about study, study, study. I want to be able to play games and watch videos as well. I'll have plenty of photos to store too. And of course, browsing through social media so that I can keep in touch with my friends.
You'd better get a powerful notebook if you want to use lots of graphics, designing, or programming. You should be able to keep within your budget.
Hey, I'm majoring in business management, not software programming. Anyway, since you seem to know a lot more than I do, will you do me a favor and come with me when I buy my computer?
No problem. Just let me know when you want to go.
Thanks.
You are now given 1 minute to answer questions 9 to 14.
Okay, right. So for part 2, we have the answers. Let's try and answer them together. Okay, so 11. Ronnie is buying a computer mainly because he wants to A, B, or C.
A.
Okay,
A.
we have 2 people, 3 people say A. Yes, I agree. It's to save time, right? He said he doesn't like going to the cyber cafe or to the whatever, you know, he doesn't have enough time because he has a lot of assignments. So that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody agree with A?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Moving on to number 12. Ronnie is considering buying a notebook because it is
C.
C, more convenient.
C.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. More convenient. Cheaper, no. Okay. More reliable just means that the thing is really difficult to break. He didn't mention anything about reliability, but he did say that he wants to take it around the campus and use the Wi-Fi. So it's about convenience. Ronnie majors in what?
A.
Hmm?
Major.
Graphic design, business management, or software?
B.
B. Business management.
That's right. B, business management. Okay. So the listening tried to confuse you by mentioning other programs. Okay. First of all, Maya said something that, oh, if you want to do graphic design, blah, 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 but it's not his major. And then he said, oh, I'm studying business management, not software programming. Okay. Again, to confuse the students. So it's always focus on what, you know, what is what you're looking for. So business management it is. Which of the following best describes? So this one is about your opinion. So there's no real answer in the listening. You have to look at it as a whole. So which one? A, B, or C? Has he decided what he wants to buy?
A. I think.
You have?
A.
B.
Yeah.
Oh, we have some people, a lot of people say A. Actually, this is wrong. Dun, dun, dun.
B.
Okay, I'll tell you why it's wrong. A says he has made up his mind. Maknanya, he already knows exactly what he wants to buy. But at the end of the conversation, what did he say to Maya?
He need help.
Yes, he needs her help, right? He said, oh, since you know so much about computer, why don't you come with me to buy it? So meaning that he has not made up his mind. He didn't really know exactly what computer to buy, right? What brand to buy, what type to buy. He hasn't decided yet. Okay, so I'm going to go to another wrong answer. C, he has hardly thought about it. It's wrong because?
Synonym with A.
Yes, because, yes, it's opposite of it, but also because C, he did, throughout the conversation, we know that he did think about it, right? He did discuss it with Maya. He knows what he wants, right? He knows what he wants. He just hasn't decided, what to do. Okay, so the best answer would be B. He has given it some thought, meaning that he knows some of the things that he wants for the computer, but he hasn't really made up his mind. Okay, so it's a tricky one. Okay, it's a tricky one. It requires you to look at the entire conversation as a whole and make a judgment. Okay, you have to macam buat summary lah. You have to summarize the whole conversation. Okay, so that's part 2 of our. Okay, we've got 15 minutes. That should be enough for part 3. For part 2, for the listing. Okay, everybody okay with part 2? Any questions so far?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you are getting familiar. You see the type of question. This is actual paper 2018 punya paper. So it's exactly the kind of question that you will see. The listening track yang you dengar tu is exactly the same kind of listening track yang you will hear during the test. You have local speaker, maknanya Malaysian speaker but speaking in English. So there's a slight accent lah, macam either a Chinese, Malay or Indian accent, but it's in English lah. Okay, Part 3, question 15 to 20. So you have 5, 6 questions. Write your answer in no more than 5 words. This is the short answer question just now, okay? Short answer question. So for this one, you have 3 listening tracks, eager track, okay? So there are different tracks from each other. I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I think so. There are 3 different tracks. So the first track is for the first 2 questions, the second track is for the second 2 questions, and then the last 2 questions will be for the third track. So you will listen to 15, 16 punya question, and then you listen for 17, 18, and 19, and then they will go back to 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You listen to the whole track again. Okay, I believe it's like that, right? But either way, same strategy again. Look at the question, try to guess the answer, underline and circle the keywords. Okay, so we'll try this. Right, when you take a train trip from Kuala Lumpur to Singapore, you need not worry about. Okay, so we know it's a train trip. Location is from KL to Singapore. A train trip from Kuala Lumpur, Singapore. You don't have to worry about something. So then your brain must start to engage. Your brain must start to think. Okay, so it's a train trip, Kuala Lumpur to Singapore. What you don't have to worry about. If you're taking the train, you don't have to worry about what?
About time.
Huh?
About
Traffic jam.
Traffic jam. Somebody said time. Okay. If you're flying, what do you have to worry about?
Flight delay.
Flight delay. You have to worry about, going to the airport. Yes. Okay. So many things. So it doesn't matter. The most important thing is what's called pre-listening. Pre-listening is you get your brain again. Your brain, imagine it as like a folder. You have many folders. So you're opening the folder that is about traveling. Okay, your traveling folder, so that you can remember all the vocabulary, you can remember all the knowledge about taking a train. Okay, some of us maybe have never taken a train in our lives. So the long train journey will encourage family members to do what? Okay, this is interesting. I think you can guess the answer. So the long train journey, so it's a very long train journey. So it's supposed to encourage family members. So if you go with your family and you take the long train journey, what will happen? Yes?
Will be tired.
To be tired, okay. Anything else? What can family members do if you're taking a long train journey? Maybe you can what?
Family coating.
Family what?
Coating.
Coating, what is coating?
Sit for family.
Sit for family. You can, maybe you will encourage family to talk to each other, okay? Maybe play games with each other, like, bonding lah. There will be a lot of bonding between family members, right? Okay. And then according to the speaker, one thing you should not include. Okay, so this is the 17 and 18. Right. So now let's listen.
Part 3. Listen to part of a conversation. Based on the conversation, answer questions 15 and 16.
So, where are you taking your family for the upcoming holiday?
The plan is to take the children to Universal Studios in Singapore, but I'm really worried about the usual traffic during holidays.
Why don't you try taking a train from Kuala Lumpur to Singapore? It is one of the easiest, cheapest, and most comfortable ways to get from Kuala Lumpur to Singapore without having to worry about traffic. You also don't have to worry about meals or rest stops. The train is also very safe and probably is the safest way to get from Kuala Lumpur to Singapore.
Oh, wow, you know a lot. Tell me more about this train trip to Singapore.
Well, as far as I know, the trip is about 6 hours. And you know what? The long train ride is the perfect way for children and their parents to spend quality time together and bond with one another. Activities such as playing board games or cards will surely be enjoyable for everyone. I bet it will definitely be a memorable experience for you and your family.
Sounds like a great plan to me. Thanks for the info.
You are now given 1 minute to answer questions 15 and 16.
Oh, okay. So you get to listen to it again immediately. But we can answer that, I think, right now. Okay, so what do we think? First one, when you take a
Traf-
train trip, you don't have to worry about what?
Traffic jam and meal.
Traffic.
Traffic and safety.
Traffic, there's meals,
Safety.
safety. Okay. I can't remember safety part. We'll listen to it. So you need to write these as if it's a sentence, right? So if you have three items, you need not worry about traffic, meals, and safety. Okay? You need to
Yeah.
complete the sentence because it's a sentence. The long train journey will encourage family members to
Spend
Playing
quality
card
time
Board
and
time.
boarding game. Boarding game.
and
more. Does it spend more time together? What else?
body
Hmm?
Playing
Bonding.
boarding game. Bonding game.
To bond. Okay. The playing games and all that is more like examples of how they bond with each other. We can listen to it again right now to check the answers.
Ways. Why don't you try taking a train from Kuala Lumpur to Singapore? It is one of the easiest, cheapest, and most comfortable ways to get from Kuala Lumpur to Singapore without having to worry about traffic. You also don't have to worry about meals or rest stops. The train is also very safe and probably is the safest way to get from Kuala Lumpur to Singapore.
Oh, wow, you know a lot. Tell me more about this train trip to Singapore.
Well, as far as I know, the trip is about 6 hours. And you know what? The long train ride is the perfect way for children and their parents to spend quality time together and bond with one another. Activities such as playing board games or cards will surely be enjoyable for everyone. I bet it will definitely be a memorable experience for you and your family.
Sounds like a great plan to me. Thanks for the info.
Okay, so we have the answers correct. So traffic, meals, and safety. Yes, safety was there. Spend quality time together or bond with. You can't have both because remember we can only have 5 words, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 only, or 1, 2, 3, 4 only. Okay, so moving on to the second listening. Okay, so according to the speaker, one thing you should not include in your job application letter is, so one thing only. So pay very close attention to the question, right? So the speaker might list more than one thing, but you should only pick one thing. A well-written job application letter will. So we are going to listen about writing a job application letter. Okay, so we need to listen to one thing we should not include, and then the effect. If you write a good job application letter, what will you get? Okay.
Listen to a piece of advice. Based on the advice, answer questions 17 and 18.
When you write a job application letter, there are some things that you don't need to include in the cover letter that you write. For instance, if you don't have all the qualification the employer is seeking, don't mention it. Instead, focus on what you have. If you have questions about the job or the benefits, it's not appropriate to mention them in the letter. Also, don't mention your expected salary unless the employer asks for it. One thing that's very important is don't write too much. Keep your letter focused and concise, as all your details should already be in your CV. If you write too much, the chances are nobody is going to read it and your effort will all be wasted. Remember, a well written letter will catch the employer's attention. It will definitely get your job application noticed and help you secure an interview. Take the time to personalize it so that it will show the employer why you are a solid candidate for the job.
You are now given 1 minute to answer questions 17 and 18.
Okay, we'll use the 1 minute to discuss, right? To think about the answers. Okay, so according to the speaker, is the timer going? According to the speaker, one thing you should not include in your job application letter is what?
Expected salary.
Okay, yeah,
Don't
we
mention
did
your
mention that.
expectation salary.
Something else? Somebody was saying?
Right, too much.
Okay, but yes, that's one of the thing, but the structure of the sentence doesn't allow us to write that. You can't say one thing you should not include in your job application is write too much. So it's more like an item, right? You should not include something, not write too much. Write too much will be one thing you should not do in your job application is write too much. That's correct. One thing you should not include has to be
We
like
will listen to the advice
an
again.
item.
Check your answers.
Okay, let's listen again.
When you write a job application letter, there are some things that you don't need to include in the cover letter that you write.
Hmm.
For instance, if you don't have all the qualification the employer is seeking, don't mention it. Instead, focus on what you have. If you have questions about the job or the benefits, it's not appropriate to mention them in the letter. Also, don't mention your expected salary unless the employer asks for it. One thing that's very important is don't write too much. Keep your letter focused and concise, as all your details should already be in your CV. If you write too much, the chances are nobody is going to read it and your effort will all be wasted. Remember, a well written letter will catch the employer's attention. It will definitely get your job application noticed and help you secure an interview. Take the time to personalize it so that it will show the employer why you are a solid candidate for the job.
Right. So well-written job application letter will catch the employer's attention. So we have expected salary, we have benefits, and all the qualifications. So either one of these are fine. You cannot put all of them, right? You can only write 5 words. So one, and also because they just want one thing. Okay, the best answer would be all the qualification because it's the one that comes first. But the other two would be accepted as well. Okay, question 19 and 20. All right, just nice our time. Okay, so graphologists, oh, this one is very difficult, huh? Has words that I also never heard of it before. Okay, but we can guess what they are. Graphologists can analyze your handwriting to determine your what. Okay, so sometimes this is what we call vocabulary in context. Sometimes we have a word, but we don't understand the word. We've never heard of the word. But in the sentence, there's something that tells you everything you need to know about the word. Graphologists can analyze your handwriting. So we know graphologists do what? What do they do? Yes, exactly. They analyze your handwriting. So their job is to look at handwriting, like my ugly handwriting you can see here in red, and they will tell you, oh, this guy has problem with what? This guy is a potential criminal or something like that. Okay, all right. They analyze handwriting and to determine your what. So by looking at your handwriting, they can find out something about you. Question 20. People who love to seek attention and are confident usually what? Okay, so we need to listen to what the speakers say about people who love to seek attention and are confident. So maybe it has something to do with graphologists, the way they write. Maybe the way they write. Okay, last lesson.
Listen to a talk about handwriting. Based on the talk, answer questions 19 and 20.
Did you know that your handwriting can tell a lot about you? The study of handwriting, or graphology, has been practiced for hundreds of years. Graphologists study writing samples to determine personality types, and they are able to read how a person is like through the handwriting. From physiological conditions like high blood pressure or schizophrenia to personality traits like dominance and aggression. Everything from the size of your letters to how closely you space words can reveal intricate details of your personality. Some companies commission this analysis before hiring new employees. This method is even sometimes used to help couples see if they are compatible. Here are some examples. If you write with tiny letters, you are likely to have a timid and introverted personality. If you write with large letters, you are the complete opposite, outgoing, confident, and attention seeking. Studies also suggest that people who space their words widely like freedom and independence, whereas those who write with small spaces prefer to be among others and hate to be alone.
You are now given 1 minute to answer questions 19 and 20.
Okay, so quickly we are going to check our answers. Graphologists can analyze your handwriting to determine your what?
Personality.
Personality, or to be more accurate, personality
And character.
traits. Personality traits. Personality and character. Okay, that's fine. You know, three is as long as you're within 5 words. People who love to seek attention and are confident usually write with what?
In a big character. Big,
Yeah, big characters. The characters here is not like your personality characters. It's more like your
Size.
characters A, B, C. You know, these are characters. Character A, character. This is when you say letters, you can also say characters. Write big characters or write big letters. Okay. So you look at
You
your
will
own
listen to the
handwriting.
talk
If
again
you write
to
big
check
big
your
letters, I
answers.
mean you're very confident people.
Did you know that your handwriting can tell a lot about you? The study of handwriting, or graphology, has been practiced for hundreds of years. Graphologists study writing samples to determine personality types, and they are able to read how a person is like through the handwriting. From physiological conditions like high blood pressure or schizophrenia to personality traits like dominance and aggression. Everything from the size of your letters to how closely you space words can reveal intricate details of your personality. Some companies commission this analysis before hiring new employees. This method is even sometimes used to help couples see if they are compatible. Here are some examples. If you write with tiny letters, you are likely to have a timid and introverted personality. If you write with large letters, you are the complete opposite, outgoing, confident, and attention seeking. Studies also suggest that people who space their words widely like freedom and independence, whereas those who write with small spaces prefer to be among others and hate to be alone.
All right. Okay, so we have the correct answers here. Okay, so I think that was good practice for the listening test. Okay, so you've seen part 1, part 2, and part 3 of the paper. I'm going to share the slides with you later on, okay, and also the recording, so you can watch it again if you want to. The slides that I will share with you will contain all the notes that we have written here, all the answers, okay. But then,
Part 3. Listen to a piece of an
okay, but when you continue on, the slide also actually have more practice. Okay, you have more part 1 practice, you have part 2 practice, you have part 3 practice again, and then a couple more I added for part 1. Okay, so you can actually just carry on. You can use the PowerPoint slides to continue practicing the listening skills in order to be familiar with the types of question. Okay, so I will share this with you in the WhatsApp group, so you can download it. It will be on the Google Drive because of all the audio file, right? So it's very big. It will be on a Google Drive, and then you can download it onto your computer, and then you can try and practice. If you have any questions, if you're not sure the answer, whatever, you can chat with me in WhatsApp group also. Okay, everybody?
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much, and I will see
Thank you,
you
sir.
again. Okay, have a good weekend, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, bye bye. Assalamualaikum.
Welcome, sir.